This little accessory comes with me on almost every single shoot and is responsible for 99% of my unique shots. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm definitely not a chef, but every single one of those shots was shot using this little accessory. So what is one of these? This is a magic arm. So if you don't know what a magic arm is, it essentially is just an arm that allows you to mount objects onto each side. So a very common scenario is for me to attach one side of the magic arm onto this suction cup, just like so, and then I can attach the other side of this magic arm to my camera cage. And then you can actually crank down this magic arm right here. It can actually hold it in place, and that's what a magic arm is designed for, to hold two objects together and in a fixed position. If that's still confusing, let me show you this. So for this shot right here, I just started by using a super clamp and just clamping it to the wall. Then I used a magic arm to attach it to the super clamp, and then the other side holds up my camera. Now you might be thinking, why would you use something like this when I can just use a tripod and just put it up super high? A tripod obviously is going to take up a lot of space, and some tripods don't even reach as high as you want. Using one of these, I can find creative ways to be able to mount my camera in different places. You've probably also seen these viral shots where you get a POV of your subject. So right now we're actually going to try a POV shot. So I'm going to mount my camera with the magic arm, tighten that down. Now the other side, I'm going to mount my camera onto it. And I'm just going to screw this in with the corner 20 thread at the bottom. So I kind of want to do the side profile shot because I'm doing a video on this lens. So we're just going to set that right here. Record, and now we get a POV shot. So for this specific case, I'm just running around with my Fujifilm camera, and I have my camera mounted so that I get a very unique perspective because my camera and myself, which is my subject, is fixed, but the background is rotating. And these are only achieved by using a magic arm. I also really like magic arms when I want to use it for car shots. So I usually just stick a suction cup onto the car, then I can attach a magic arm onto one side of the suction cup, the other side of the magic arm to my camera, and that allows me to get these kind of shots. If you're interested in all these shots and you want to go out and buy a magic arm right now, don't do that yet. I'm going to tell you the differences between some magic arms so that you know what to look for when you're going to buy them. So let's start off with one of these. This is just a very basic magic arm. It's kind of short, a little stubby. If you're lucky, you might be able to find some with RE locating holes on the side, but most of them don't have it. And these are important because RE locating pins actually help hold your camera in place. Even if you're not mounting cameras, if you're mounting something heavy, there's a tendency that the object might get loose, and that's not very useful because magic arms are designed to hold your subject in place and hold it very securely so that it doesn't move. And if your object is moving around, then that kind of defeats the purpose of using a magic arm. Now these can be useful for very light things, and if it's something super light, then you don't really need an RE locating pin, you can just get away with one of these. But these are also kind of short, so you might want to get something a little bit longer. Next we move on to one of these. So this is the exact same one that I have holding up my microphone right now. And the difference is one side has a 1/4-20 screw with two RE locating pins. So if I want to screw this onto like my camera cage or something, it can make sure that holds it very securely. The difference with this one is that it has a NATO rail on the other side, and I actually think that NATO rails are a little bit more secure, and if you're able to mount it onto something like your camera cage where it does have NATO rails, then this is very useful. As you can see, when I unscrew one side, it's also very long, so it actually is useful if you want to do those POV shots or hold up other objects. Now your third option is something like this. So this is a magic arm by Digital Photo. This is the Iron 211Q. And these might just look like regular magic arms, but they actually do this. So these are super useful because they have a quick release system. Now as you get more familiar with magic arms, you're gonna find that it's kind of annoying to screw on a magic arm while it's attached to something. So a quick release is useful because I can just take off the quick release mount, screw it onto my camera or whatever object I'm trying to hold up. And then once it's screwed on, then I can attach the arm back onto it. and that way it's a lot easier to manage instead of trying to hold two heavy objects at once. This is also cool because it has a 3/8 screw and it can actually go down to a 1/4-20, so it's a lot more versatile if you want to mount it to things with bigger threads. Now all of these are cool, but they do have one problem with them. So most of these magic arms, they work because they have this little handle on the side, and when you tighten it, you have these teeth that kind of hold each other in place, and that helps make sure that it doesn't come loose. And that's why magic arms are actually so strong. That's also what the industry standard has been for years, this kind of magic arm. Finally, we have something different. Now this is the Mofage Talos Magic Arm. Now Mofage has made something called a dampening magic arm, and I think this is so genius that a lot of other brands are already starting to copy this, and I think in a few years, this is going to be the industry standard for magic arms. Now the first thing you'll notice when you turn the magic arm is that it's super smooth. If I'm turning this magic arm, if I don't loosen it all the way, this is what you hear. And that's because of those teeth that are grinding against each other, which are meant to hold each other in place, and that's what's making that sound. Now you could loosen it a lot more and then it feels smooth, but that requires you to loosen the magic arm a ton, and then it goes all over the place, it's very wobbly, and then you have to hold everything in place together before you tighten it back down. Now the way Mofage has made this so smooth is because if you look in the middle, there actually are no teeth. Now, I don't actually know the science behind it, I don't know if it's some kind of friction that's holding it together, but it is what makes it super smooth. It just makes it a lot easier to turn. Now if you also see on the regular magic arms, because of the way the teeth lock in, sometimes when you're trying to tighten down an object and you're trying to align it, your teeth might actually stack on top of each other. And then when you tighten it, it forces your camera or your object to shift a little bit. So one very common problem with magic arms is that when you're trying to tighten them into a fixed position, because they have teeth in the middle of the gears, sometimes it's very hard to position it exactly where you want it. Now you might think, it's just a few millimeters, why does that matter? It matters because if you're trying to set up a very perfect shot, I want it dead center and I don't want it to shift, because any small shift, especially for us as perfectionists, we can see that it's slightly shifted to the left or right. And that's exactly what the problem is with one of these. Once you have a position, if the gears of your teeth don't exactly align, when you tighten it, it's going to shift your object slightly. With the Talos, because there are no teeth, you can literally make like millimeter adjustments, and when you tighten it, it's going to stay exactly in that place and it's not going to shift at all. Again, this might be something that you have to try, but when you start using magic arms with teeth, there definitely are going to be times where it's shifting when you don't want it to, and you're going to see the advantages of the Talos. Another problem is just trying to position everything by yourself, especially with a very heavy camera. If I'm trying to position it exactly where I want it, and I'm trying to tighten it, I can see that my hand ends up shifting, and even I actually misalign the camera myself. So like right now it's misaligned, and I have to unscrew it, position it where I want, and tighten it. And it actually starts to get very annoying. So usually magic arms in a lot of scenarios is a 2% job. So one person might actually hold onto the camera, position it where you want it, and hold it in place to make sure that it doesn't move. And then the other person will be cranking down the magic arm. So there's a few reasons why the Talos magic arm is actually so great. So first, because there is no teeth, I don't have to worry about any of the teeth intersecting and messing up where I need to place my camera. I can literally make millimeter adjustments, and whenever I crank it down, my camera will not move. Now the second thing is, like I mentioned, because the camera might shift a lot, it makes it a 2% job. But the Talos actually has something really cool, and it's a dampening system. So you can see that the camera right now is held. On normal magic arms, you would have to loosen it a ton, and when you loosen it, the camera just kind of goes all over the place. You have to hold it, you have to make sure that it doesn't fall over and like hit my car or damage the camera. So that's very annoying. But with the Talos, because it's a dampening system, right now it's locked, I can do a quarter turn on the unlocking part. So quarter turn, you can see the camera is still locked, but you can see I can still make some small movements with it. So I can actually still rotate the arm, make a few other adjustments here. You can see this. My camera is still held in place. Now I can make position it where I want, tighten it, and now we're good to go. Mofage has also actually done something different that I don't really think I've seen in other magic arms. So if you look at the mounting point of the magic arm, you can see a little screw here, and you can actually do this. So if I unscrew that part, you can actually see that I can take off the head here. Now this is really cool because it allows you to swap different mounts. So say for example something like this magic arm, one side is a 1/4-20 with our relocating pins, one side is a NATO rail. But maybe I'm not running a camera with a cage on it and I don't have NATO rails. That means I can't use this side. Or maybe I actually prefer NATO rails and I want to have both sides be able to have NATO mounts so that I can use those NATO rails. Now Mofage has made it really simple because if you want different mounts, you can just customize it and it's totally modular, you can just switch them out yourself. So right here they have a 1/4-20 with an relocating pin. This side I have a NATO rail. If I want, I can swap them both out to be NATO rails. But they also have a lot of other mounts. They have a 15mm rod mount if you want to use any rod accessories. They also have baby pin adapters and inputs if you want to attach it to light stands or lights. The Talos Magic Arm is actually also super strong. So when you're holding something vertically, it has a weight capacity of 5 kilograms. So that's definitely able to hold on my camera and a lens, or maybe a light, some other accessories. If you're holding it horizontally out like this, the weight capacity is still 2.5 kilograms. So even though it is in a weaker position because it's out horizontally, it's still able to hold a pretty decent amount, and I totally trust it to be able to hold my camera. Like I mentioned, this comes with me on almost every single shoot because I always find creative ways to use it. One of my favorite shots is this high, wide angle shot, and I like to use this as an establishing shot or a behind the scenes shot. Cars I already mentioned, but these are super useful. You're able to hold cameras and other things in different places, and that's how a lot of these car mounted shots are done. POV shots, like I mentioned, are also super nice to use just because they give this very different perspective of your subject not moving at all. Obviously I can't overuse the shot, but I definitely think it is a nice shot to have. I think once you start getting creative with one of these and you start using it more, you're gonna find very creative ways for this to be used in almost every single shoot. So yeah, if you haven't played around with one of these before, this is definitely something you need to try out. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe to see more photo video content, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.